Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy.
All right, folks, here we are on Thursday, February 8th. We're going to take a look at NNDM today. So I had a bunch of people ask me for an update video. I took a look at it, thought it might be interesting, and I just want to get this out of the way. A full disclosure, I did take a position in a few different accounts today in NNDM. So just so you're aware, that doesn't mean that I'm going to benefit at all. This could totally crash and I could lose on those trades. But I didn't want to make the video without making that clear. So with that out of the way, the things that I found interesting about this are obviously it's moved nicely through the levels that we had on the chart, but it's potentially putting in my favorite setup, which is, I'm just going to put this here and then we can get rid of it because I don't want it to clutter up the chart too much. But we go like this. Basically, make both of these yellow so they're easier to see. Basically, what I call a flat top or an ascending triangle formation, whereby it's tapped its head on a certain level several times, which in this case is about 258 or so, and it's getting near into that level while putting in a slew of higher lows. And so essentially, giving it uptrend support is going to meet previous topping out, right? So about like this, and it's getting mighty close to there. And, sometimes these can produce big moves. And obviously that's my hope here. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but we'll see. It could come up and like I said, I could lose easily 50 cents a share on all this, and so it goes. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting setup, as well as somebody had told me to look at the options chain, and I won't linger on this for too long in case you're not familiar with options, but they pointed out the open interest on the $2.50 calls for next week. So for whatever reason, folks have come in and they've bought up a lot of these call options, all the way up, like a decent amount, all the way up to 4. While you see the open interest in the puts, there's a few hundred there, but nothing major. And then there's, this 6,100 and 1,300 at the 3. So, that's pretty interesting. I mean, you look at this week's chain and it's not really much of anything. You have these 2.5s, you have 153, 10. So, I thought that was indeed pretty interesting. So those things were, what I thought was super intriguing about the chart. Now, all of that said, NNDM has had a really rough time. It's, you zoom out and scroll left and the chart looks like this. So it is in many ways an atrocious long-term chart. Could it recover? Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. There's double bottom-ish looking right around this level, right? But does that mean that anything is going to come from this? I don't know. We shall see. Now, on the Thinkorswim side of things, I put in these ATR levels. This is for, what is this? For a swing? Yeah, for a swing trade type. These are the levels. And right now, conviction candle came in a couple of days ago. Those fail a lot of times. You get a lot of false positives with those. I don't see any if we scroll back, but there often are. I see them all the time where it's points up and then it sort of immediately goes down, or vice versa. So we'll see. We do have bullish momentum building on the histogram, so there's something there. This, per this setup, this is the call trigger 263. That has ATR levels going to about 3 and then up to 338 for the time being. These are all dynamic, the channel as well as the levels, so those will change or they can change as new candles get put in. And if it does come down, it has support level here at about 240 or so, and then a put trigger 217 with levels down to 142 for the time being. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to get rid of this just so, again, it's not too cluttered and we can see things a little bit easier. We do see here, if we zoom back out, okay, we had trigger and fire, sort of hiccupy kind of triggers and fires back here. Was at the mid-range, dipped down and then bounced up. And right now, trying to flip this, red wave cloud to green, we'll see if that persists. It is quite high in the channel, but, if there is something, I'm putting basically a lot of weight behind these, the options chain and why there are all of those calls open. So we'll see if something is coming down the pike and folks have bought in who may have some information that we don't have. But obviously, if that is the case, then it being high in the channel won't necessarily play a big role. But in any other sort of situation, we take that out of the equation. It is putting in, like I said, that ascending triangle, so that's something, and I do love that setup. But for all other intents and purposes, it is quite high in the channel, and it probably doesn't have a lot of history being able to stretch out of the channel for super long. Here's a run that it put in, right? But I mean, you compare that to all of the time that it spends in the channel and sort of bumps both ends sort of frequently. But it has shown some abilities before. So we'll see how that plays out. But certainly interesting. To be honest, that, like I said, this being my favorite setup, this flat top, plus that options chain, it could be nothing also, right? could be a whole lot of nothing. It could be some quirky trader or traders who, for whatever reason, have opened these up, and it could just be the case. But we'll see if there's anything that comes of it or not. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week has been going well, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.